All right. So for flow today, we'll start on our back. And let's start with the soles of the feet on the mat, wide, knees together, arms down by the sides. And with the feet wide and the knees together, you start to feel the inner thighs rotate away from you. So they're not going out, they're going in. Reach the arms up overhead. So fingertips are up toward the sky, palms away from you. Bring the right arm in front of the left arm. Turn the palms to face down so they face toward the mat. And then slide the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows away from the face. So it's like you're pointing the elbows down toward the navel. Take a deep breath in through the nose, back out through the mouth. Two more like that. Deep breath in, exhale out through the mouth. Inhale in through the nose, back out through the mouth. This time in through the nose. Hold it at the very top. Exhale back out through the nose. Inhale in through the nose. Back out through the nose. Keep going with this breath. Reach the arms up toward the sky, left arm in front of the right arm. You're crossing high up, maybe above the elbow if you can. Turn the palms to face down. Slide the hands underneath the shoulder blades. Elbows point toward the navel. Still Ujjayi breath in and out through the nose, up and down the back of the throat. Reach the arms back up toward the sky. Arms come down by the sides. Heel toe the feet closer together. Roll over to your right side. Use the hands to come up to seated. And once you come up to seated, have the legs out in front of you. Shift over to the right hip and bend this left leg. So you're trying to take the top of the foot. You're going to probably need to use your hand and bring it to the mat. So the toes are pointing back behind you. If that's not happening, bring yourself up on a block or put something underneath the hips. And then see if you can get even on the sit bones. Make sure you're not sitting on this left foot. Sit up tall. So it's half your asana. You're just doing the one leg. And you get into the foot, the ankle bones, the knee, even the hip. So all these lower body joints. But sometimes it's a little bit easier when we do one leg at a time. And then you'll switch. So bring that left leg forward, shift over to the left hip, bring the right leg back. Knees are as close together as you can get them. You want to be more on the top of the foot, toes pointing straight back behind you, sitting up tall. That right knee is down on the mat. If it's lifting up, then lift the hips up on something. And come back to extending that right leg forward. From here, step the right foot over the left leg, grab onto the outer right ankle bone, bring the foot over to the left. So you're trying to stack the knees and then fold over the legs. So you're opening up the backside of that left leg by keeping it straight. You're also getting into the right hip at the same time. And as you fold forward over the legs, you bring the torso over the legs, and that puts a little bit more weight onto the hips as they open and the backside of the left leg. Come back up to center, switch sides. So right leg goes forward, bring the sole of the left foot to the mat, cross the left foot over the right leg, grab onto the outer left ankle bone, bring it over to the right. Any amount is okay. Sit up tall and then start to fold forward over the legs. Right toes stay up. And the back side of the right leg is firm while you're opening it. So it's like you're pressing out through the sole of the right foot, like you're pushing something away from you with that foot. Come back up to center, extend the left leg, bring both feet over to one side, come forward to hands and knees, coming into tabletop. Let's do a few rounds of cat-cow breath. So stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. On the inhale, reach the heart forward, lift the tail. On the exhale, round the spine, chin in toward the chest. Inhale, heart goes forward, tail lifts up. Exhale, round. Keep going on your own, following the rhythm of your own breath. One more cycle. Back to a neutral spine and tabletop. Reach the right arm up to the sky. Thread the right arm through underneath you, coming down onto the side of the head. So you need to bend that left arm to make it happen. Stretch the left arm forward over the top of the mat and reach the hands away from the body. Try to keep the hips square, belly hugging in. If you're comfortable, you can stay here. If you want a little bit more, left arm can reach up to the sky. Turn the left palm to face behind you. Wrap the left arm behind the back. Find a place where you maximize the opening on the left side chest and shoulder. So it's a half bind with that top arm. Left arm reaches all the way up to the sky, left hand down in front of the face. Press into the left hand to come back up onto both hands, all fours. Then left arm reaches up. Thread the left arm through underneath you, coming down onto the side of the head. Stretch the right arm forward over the top of the mat. Stay here for a couple of breaths. See how this feels on your shoulders. Be happy here, or reach the right arm up to the sky, turn the right palm to face behind you, wrap the right arm behind the back. Shoulders away from the ears so the neck has plenty of space. Right arm reaches back up to the sky. Bring the right hand down in front of the face. Come back up onto both hands. So back on hands and knees. We're going to stay on hands and knees. If you need extra padding underneath the knees, maybe fold up the mat or put something underneath the knees. Step the left toes back behind you. Lift the left heel up to hip height. Reach that right arm forward like you're going to shake someone's hand. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, curl, elbow to knee. Lift that left foot up as high as you can. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. This time, inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. Inhale, extend. Right hand comes down, left knee comes down. Switch sides. Right foot steps back, lift the right foot up. Reach the left arm forward. Get long on your inhale. Exhale, curl. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Left hand comes down, right knee comes down. Step the left toes back behind you. This time, spin that left heel down flat. You need to walk it back a little bit. You could kick this right foot off to the side, maybe off your mat. Reach the left arm up, coming into a modified version of side plank. So you're already in it. You can stay right here. You could start to play with lifting that left leg up, keeping the toes pointing straight forward. And even here, you're pressing out through that left leg, keeping it strong. Reach the left arm up and over the head. So you get a nice long line on the left side. Right arm comes back up to the sky. This time, reach back like you're trying to grab the foot, bend the left leg, see if you can connect the hand and the foot. Keep reaching the chest forward. Maybe you get a quad stretch, hands pressing into the foot, foot pressing into the hand at the same time. Gently release, left leg goes out, left arm reaches up. Left hand comes back down to the mat. Left knee comes back down to the mat. Right foot steps back behind you. Spin that right heel down flat. Maybe you kick the left foot off of the mat. Reach the right arm up. Those outer hips hug in toward the midline. Stay here, or you could lift that right leg up. Turn the right palm to face forward. Reach the right arm up and over the ear. So even here, that left shoulder, sometimes it wants to creep up toward the ear. Make sure it's in place. Reach the right arm back toward the foot, bend the right leg. See if the foot and the hand can connect. Press the foot into the hand back into the foot. Chest is reaching forward, core hugging in, long quad. Release that right foot, right arm goes back up to the sky. Right hand back down to the mat, right knee down to the mat. Bring the forearms and the hands down to the mat. Step back to a forearm plank. So feet walk back behind you. We're slowly layering on core stuff, right? So we started with the sunbirds, then we did our modified Vashisthasana, which was a longer hold, I'd say, for that. Now you're in your forearm plank, which is full body, but you really need your core to keep everything in one line. Inner thighs are spinning up toward the sky. So if you had a block between the thighs, it's like it would be going up instead of down toward the mat. That's the rotation of the legs that we're looking for. Press down into the forearms and the hands. Press down into the feet, lifting all the muscles in the legs toward the sternum. Then gently set the hips down, tops of the feet on the mat, Sphinx pose. So tail points back, chest is reaching forward between the arms, hands and forearms still pressing down into the mat, almost like you're going to slide the mat back behind you. Gaze is down the bridge of the nose. And trying to stay even between the width of the chest and the width of the upper back. Look back down at the mat. Keep pressing down into the forearms and the hands. Tuck the toes. Fire up the legs so that you lift the knees. Hug the belly in. Lift the hips. Your back and forearm plank. One hand at a time. Plank pose. Downward facing dog. So get the shoulders back behind the wrists. You can pedal out the feet. Whatever kind of movement you want in this first one. Maybe deep bend in the knees if the legs are still opening. From downward facing dog, step the right foot up between the hands, coming into a runner's lunge. Left hand underneath the left shoulder. Reach the right arm up to the sky, coming into a twist. Right hand comes back down to the mat, back to downward facing dog. Step the left foot up between the hands. Right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Left hand down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Right foot steps up between the hands. Right arm reaches up for that twist. Right hand down, downward facing dog. Left foot steps up. Left arm reaches up for that twist. Left hand down, back to downward facing dog. One more cycle. Right foot steps up. Right arm reaches up, twist. Right hand down, downward facing dog. Left foot steps up. Left arm reaches up for that twist. Back to downward facing dog. This time, walk the feet up between the hands. Take your time. Coming into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. 2 more, Ardha Uttanasana. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Circle the arms on your inhale. Come all the way up to standing. Hands come together, down in front of the heart. So reach the arms forward, palms facing up. Bring the right arm on top of the left arm. Find eagle arms, so some variation. Hands could be on the shoulders, backs of the forearms together, maybe left fingertips inside of the heel of the right hand. Shoulders away from the ears, hands away from the face. Root down through the legs like you're trying to spread them out apart with the feet. Hug the core in. Maybe the forearms lift up if you feel like there's enough space in the shoulders to do that. Arms reach forward, switch. Left arm on top of right, eagle arms. Reach the arms up if there's enough space in the upper back. So don't force it. We're still opening up the shoulders, warming up the body. Release the arms down by the sides. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up. On the exhale, forward fold, bring it back down over the legs. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees deeply, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose, lower down halfway chaturanga. Your choice, cobra or up dog if you feel ready. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat, step walk, get the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms circle all the way up to standing. Hands come together overhead, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands come down to the mat, step back to plank pose, lower down halfway chaturanga. Inhale up for your back bend. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look to the top, bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms circle all the way up to standing. Hands come together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands come down to the mat, step back to plank pose, lower down halfway chaturanga. Inhale up for your back bend. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. One more cycle of Surya Namaskar A. Bend the knees, look forward, get the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Arms circle all the way up to standing. Hands come together, down in front of the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands to the mat, back to plank pose, lower down halfway chaturanga. Inhale up for your back bend. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Right foot steps up between the hands. Find your runner's lunge, feet are hip width distance apart. Come all the way up for crescent pose. Once you get to crescent pose, put a deep bend in the back knee so it gives you more space to lift that left frontal hip bone up and you feel that space behind the hips, lower back area. Then you can work toward a straighter back leg. but maybe it doesn't go all the way straight if you start to lose space in the lower back. Reach the arms forward. So you're hovering low over the front thigh, still have energy in that back leg and some weight in the back leg. Left hand comes down to the mat, right arm reaches up for that twist. Left shoulder away from the ear. Turn the toes to the right, take side plank. You could walk that right foot back halfway, press into it and lift the hips up. You could hover the right foot above the left foot or just stack the feet. Right hand comes back down to the mat, downward facing dog. Optional vinyasa. So if that was a lot for the shoulder, maybe you just hold downward facing dog. Left foot steps up between the hands, feet hip width distance apart, find crescent pose, take your time. Put a deep bend in the back knee, lift the frontal hip bone up. You'll also line up the chest right over the hips, which is great too. Then work toward a straighter back leg. Listen to the lower back. Is it losing space? You can always keep as much of a bend as you want in the back knee. Hover low over the front thigh, reaching the arms forward, still pressing back with that right leg. So both legs are strong and active. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, left arm reaches up. Find that width across the chest. Turn the toes to the left. Heel toe the left foot back halfway, press into the foot, lift the hips up, stay here, or stack the feet Vashisthasana, or maybe you hover that top foot. Foot doesn't need to go up very high. In fact, keep it low without touching the bottom foot if you're doing that. Left hand to the mat, down dog. Vinyasa, optional. Definitely listen to the upper body. Bend the knees. Look forward to the top of the mat. Bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Chair pose. Utkatasana. Bend the knees. Reach the arms up. All the way up to standing. Hands come together down in front of the heart. Inhale, sit back. Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat, step back to plank pose. Any way you want, back to downward facing dog. Right foot steps up between the hands, crescent. Stay high on the ball of the back foot, reach the arms all the way up. Reach the arms forward, hovering the torso low over the front thigh without touching it. You just have some energy reaching ahead of the top of the mat. Warrior 3, make sure your hips are square. Start to shift the weight into the front foot. Lift that back leg up. Come up to standing. Left leg crosses on top of the right leg for eagle legs. Right arm underneath the left arm. Garudasana, eagle pose. Keeping the chest upright for this one. Then we'll fly this eagle. So reach the arms up high, extend that left leg out in front of you. Lift it up high as you can. That's that left quad that's working. Then step the feet side by side. Cactus the arms, open up across the chest. Keep the hips over the heels. Inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace the fingers behind the back, point the knuckles back behind you, open up across the chest, little bend in the knees, fold forward over the legs. Knuckles can go back behind the head. Try to leave room for the neck so the shoulders are going toward the hips. Hands come back down to the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back behind you. Left hand down, right arm up for that twist. Toes turn to the right. Vashisthasana. Stick with any of the versions that we've already done if you'd like. Maybe the right arm up and over the ear. Right hand to the mat. Downward facing dog with or without a vinyasa. We've done plenty of vinyasas, so feel free to skip them. Left foot steps up between the hands. Crescent pose. Feet hip width distance apart. Arms rise up overhead. Reach the arms forward over the top of the mat. Make sure you have energy in both legs. Left knee stacked over the left ankle. Virabhadrasana 3. Go for a smooth transition. You could hop the back foot in if you'd like. Hug the core in, reach away from the body. Come up to standing, bend that left leg, right leg over the left leg, left arm over the right arm. Eagle, Garudasana. Fly the eagle, reach the arms up overhead, extend that right leg forward, reach it up a little bit higher, right foot next to the left foot, cactus the arms, open up across the chest. Maybe the gaze is up, legs are strong. Gaze goes forward. Interlace the fingers, one finger over this time. Point the knuckles back behind you. Put a little bend in the knees. Fold forward over the legs. Shift the weight more into the balls of the feet so the heels get lighter. And then maybe the head comes closer to the legs. Hands come back down to the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back behind you. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Lift the left arm up for that twist in your lunge. Turn the toes to the left. Vashisthasana side plank. Left arm can reach up and overhead, lifting the hips up. Hands come down to the mat. Make your way back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look up to the top of the mat, bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bring the feet together so big toe mounds of the feet are touching. There's a slight gap in the heels, one you can feel, but maybe not one you can see. And then come into chair pose. So we're taking a more traditional stance with the feet. Bend the knees, reach the arms up. Shift the weight to the balls of the feet, lift the heels up high. So those outer ankles have to hug in, outer thighs hug in, inner thighs press out to the outer thighs. Take an inhale, keep the heels lifted. On the exhale, bring the arms back behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, arms back behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Come all the way up to standing. Keep the heels lifted. Outer legs hugging in toward the midline. Standing up as tall as you can. Set the heels down to the mat. Cactus the arms, lift and spread the chest. Gaze goes forward. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Little bend in the knees. Fold forward over the legs. Hands come down to the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, left foot steps back behind you, left hand down to the mat, right arm reaches up. Turn the toes to the right, side plank. Step the right big toe back behind you, lift the glutes up, right arm up and over the ear, wild thing. Right arm reaches up to the sky, hands come back down to the mat. Any way you want, back to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward to the top of the mat, bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bring the feet all the way together, inner edges of the feet, slight gap in the heels, come back to chair pose. Lift the heels up high, keep the chest lifted, take an inhale. Exhale, reach the arms back behind you. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, reach the arms back behind you. This time, inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Keep squeezing those outer legs in toward the midline. Come up to standing. Heels lift up as high as you can. Arms overhead. Set the heels down to the mat. Cactus the arms. Lift and spread the chest. Interlace the fingers. One finger over, gazes forward. Little bend in the knees, fold forward over the legs. Hands to the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Right foot steps back behind you. Right hand to the mat. Left arm reaches up for the twist. Side plank. Maybe left big toe steps back behind you. Lift the hips up. Reach the left arm up and over the ear. Wild thing. Back to side plank. Hands down. Downward facing dog. This time, step the right foot up between the hands, come up into crescent pose, feet hip width distance apart, arms up overhead. Reach the arms out in front of you, warrior three. Eagle pose, left leg over the right leg, right arm underneath the left arm. This time you can fold over the legs if you want to. If it seems like it's too much, keep the chest upright. If you fold, it's like the forearms are reaching, the elbows are over the knees. Everything squeezing in toward the midline. If you folded, come back up to Garudasana, eagle pose. Reach the arms up overhead, left leg out in front of you. Back to warrior three. Take your time. Ooh, kick that left leg back, arms reach forward. Left hand down, right arm up, twisted half moon. You could use a block underneath that left hand, but press that left leg away from you, open the chest to the side, spread the arms out wide. So this is typically tough because of the shoulders, but we've done a lot of shoulder opening. Right hand comes down to the mat, standing splits just for a beat, hands are even. Step the feet together, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands down, any way you want. Back to downward facing dog. Left foot up between the hands. Crescent pose, feet hip width distance apart. Arms reach forward, warrior three. Eagle, right leg over left, right arm under left arm. Maybe fold forward over the legs. slowly rise back up. Eagle, Garudasana. Reach the arms up high, extend the right leg forward. Both legs are strong. Warrior 3, take your time. Arms out in front of you. Right hand down, left arm up. Feel free to use a block. Floor might be a little bit low. Press that right leg away from you. Hug the core in. Open up the chest to the left. Left hand down, standing splits just for a beat. Step the feet together, top of the mat. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands to the mat, make your way back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Knees bend. Look forward to the top of the mat. Bring the feet up between the hands. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Feet together, slight gap in the heels, chair pose. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Lift the heels up high. Keep the chest lifted. Take an inhale. On the exhale, arms back behind you. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms back behind you. Inhale, reach up. Keep the heels lifted. Come all the way up to standing. Squeezing the outer legs in like you have one leg underneath you. Set the feet down to the mat. Cactus the arms. So elbows in line with the shoulders this time. Hips are pointing straight forward. Open the chest to the right. So it's a shoulder opening and a twist. You won't be able to go that far. Try to keep the right hip going straight forward. Come back to center. Hug the right knee in toward the chest. Cactus the arms. Open the chest to the right again, same way. Keep that bottom leg bent or extend it like we did when we were flying the eagle. Arms stay bent, or you can extend the arms. Arms up overhead, set the right foot down to the mat, hug the left knee in toward the chest. Cactus the arms, elbows in line with the shoulders, chest open. Now turn the chest to the left. Stay here with that bent lifted leg or extend the left leg forward. Arms stay bent or extend the arms out. Reach the arms up overhead, lift the leg up higher, set the left foot next to the right foot. Chair pose. Forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, hands to the mat, back to plank pose. Vinyasa if you want on the way to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, look forward at the hands. Bring the elbows and the forearms down to the mat. Hands, forearms, elbows down to the mat. Walk the feet in toward the body. Dolphin pose. Get more of the weight into the legs. Walk the feet back behind you. Come into Sphinx pose. So forearm plank, set the hips down, tops of the feet down, chest is reaching forward. Look down at the mat, tuck the toes underneath you, lift the hips back up, forearm plank, walk the feet back in, dolphin. Feet walk back out, forearm plank, set the hips down, Sphinx pose. Okay, well, rest. From here, bring that left knee out to the side, toes turn out, inner edge of the foot down on the ground. Widen the arms, get the elbows in line with the shoulders. See if you can turn the head to the right and rest the left side of the head down on the mat. Keep the legs, lift the head up, bring the forearms back underneath you. So upper body's like Sphinx pose, but you still have that left knee out to the side. Take this right hand, bring it behind the left elbow, and then reach that right arm forward, palm facing up. Left arm reaches back behind you, and you're coming into a reclined spinal twist. So this left knee, it'll probably lift up from the mat. You want to try to get that left shoulder down on the mat, but you also want to keep the head, right hip, and right foot in one line. You can always put a block underneath the lifted knee if you want to rest it on something. Gaze can go over the left shoulder if your neck's okay with that. And start to look over to the right. Bring the left arm on top of the right arm. Back to Sphinx pose with the upper body. Leave that left knee out to the side. Get the chest lifted, forearms to the mat. Extend that left leg back behind you. Bring the right knee out to the side. Toes turn out so the inner edge of the right foot's down on the mat. And then widen the elbows. Get the elbows in line with the shoulders. See if you can turn the head to the left and rest the head down on the mat. If it doesn't work, you can always turn the head the other way. Start to lift the head back up, forearms and hands underneath you like Sphinx pose, lifting the chest. Take this left hand, bring it behind the right arm, turn the palm to face up, reach that left arm away from you. So you're bringing the chest over to the side, and then right arm reaches back behind you, rolling into that spinal twist. So trying to get the right shoulder to the mat, you need to be on the side of the left hip, the hip underneath you to make that happen. Right knee can stay lifted. You can bring the gaze over the right arm. Right arm comes back over to the left arm. Come back to Sphinx pose just with the upper body. Right leg goes back behind you. Bring the hands to the mat. Come up to hands and knees. Feet go over to one side, and you're coming to seated on the mat, legs out in front of you. Make sure there's plenty of room behind you. Bring the sole of the right foot to the mat. Step the right foot over the left leg. Work towards stacking the knees as best you can. Listen to your body. And remember, you can always elevate the hips if you feel like you're struggling at this point. Maybe you bend the bottom leg. You need to lean over to the left hip, bend the bottom leg. Feet are not underneath the hips. So it doesn't matter where they are, just as long as they're not underneath the hips. Sit up tall. So you got the right knee stacked on top of the left knee. If this is too much, you can extend the bottom leg forward and just do half of the legs, and that's fine. Left arm reaches up toward the sky. Bend the left arm. So you're reaching down the center of the back. Reach the right arm out to the side, thumb side down. Bring the right arm behind the back. Work the hands so they come close together. They don't have to touch. So you can just grab onto your shirt or keep working the hands together. Elbows are going in toward the body. Lift the chest. Take an inhale and fold over the legs. Cow face pose, Gomukhasana, full version. Slowly come back up to seated. Unwind the arms, bring the arms down by the sides, and you could take some shoulder rolls. That's a deep opening for the upper body. Go the other way. Then lean back, extend the bottom leg, then the top leg. And we'll switch sides. So come back to seated, legs out in front of you. This time, left foot comes to the mat. Step the left foot over the right leg. Grab onto the outer left ankle bone, bring it off to the side to try to stack the knees. Stay like this with the bottom leg extended, or lean over to the right. See if you can bend the bottom leg, still staying even on the sit bones and not touching the feet. And then reach the right arm up, bend the right arm. So you're reaching down the center of the back, the shoulder between the shoulder blades. Left arm reaches out to the side, thumb side down. Bring that left arm back behind you. Work the hands close together. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. Not the goal. The goal is to open up the shoulders. Fold forward over the legs. Rise back up to seated, unwind the arms, take some shoulder rolls, moving the shoulders in circles. Try not to move anything else. So the arms don't need to move to get the shoulders to move. Then switch the direction, go the other way. Start to extend the bottom leg if it's bent, then the top leg. Find even on the sit bones. Legs still out in front of you. Reach the arms all the way up overhead. Take an inhale. Exhale, fold forward, seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Head comes down toward the legs. And the shoulders aren't going toward the feet, they're still going toward the hips. Rise back up to seated, soles of the feet to the mat. Come on down onto your back. You might need to scoot the hips forward. Once you come down to the back, hug the right knee in toward the chest. Cross the right leg high up over the left leg. So like eagle legs, but you're lying on your back. Bring the knees in toward the chest. You can hang onto the bottom knee. Although today might be an interesting day to reach forward, grab the outer ankles or outer edges of the feet, and then rest the head down on the mat. So feet are flexed if you went to the ankles or the feet. And start to release. Left foot comes to the mat, right foot comes to the mat. Switch sides. Left leg crosses high up over the right. Bring the knees in toward the chest. Stay here or reach forward, grab the outer ankles or outer edges of the feet, lifting the feet up in line with the knees. Keep the feet flexed, head resting, hips down. And gently release. Feet come back down to the mat. Then bring the knees in toward the chest. Close the eyes. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale, Shavasana. Extend the legs out in front of you, arms down by the sides. Let go of the breath control. And anything else in the body you don't need, or the mind. Start to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Reach the right arm overhead. Walk the soles of the feet so they're on the mat, bending the knees. And then see if you can roll over and lie the head in the bicep with the arm reaching overhead. Left arm can just rest down the side of the body, hand near the hip. And this is an opening for the shoulder if you can get the head in the bicep, which is why we're doing this. It's a nice way to come out of your Shavasana, lying on your side. Left hand comes down to the floor in front of you. Press into the left hand to come up to seated. Comfortable, maybe a cross-legged seat if that works for you, but really it can be any shape. Sitting up tall with the eyes closed. Bring the hands together. Lengthen the elbows down toward the mat. So you'll feel that space in the shoulders and a long neck. Keep the chest lifted, slight bow of the head. Taking a moment, left side of the body meets the right side with the hands together to honor and acknowledge your heart and spirit, as well as everyone around you. Bring the head back up, blink open the eyes. Namaste. Thanks for sharing your flow practice today. See you next time.
Yeah, I didn't notice any mix-up.